One, never be a bitch and run. You gotta fight for an eye for an eye, gun for a gun. Even if it's evil for evil, we at war with these devils for the blood of our people. Two, always stay down with the truth. Once I weed out the fake, now I'm down to a few. It's never ever been about numbers. Yeah, I'd rather have a couple of shooters, long as they real gunners. Three, always keep some soldiers around me. Spoken prophecies go forth to make the blind see. Trying to lead a horse to the water, and you ain't got a drink, but the other option is slaughter. Four, we risk our life for the sick and poor. Truth, I spit it raw. You ain't never heard this before. We gotta ride for each other. We ain't nothing like the others for the blood of my brothers. If you wanna ride, nigga, let's ride. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. For the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other. If you wanna ride, nigga, let's ride. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. For the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other. If you wanna ride, if you wanna ride, it's for the blood of my brothers, I ride. With my brothers, we'll die for each other. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. It's for the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other. Number 5, if I say slide, then my niggas slide. Why y'all devils trying to get after my niggas stay live, certified. I'll put my fucking name on it. Cold word, thunderstorm, bullets make it rain on them 6. Had to trade a garment for a chopstick. I know my op sick is wartime, it's time to mop shit. And yeah, we know your last known whereabouts. Searching through them holes in the rocks. We about to air it out 7. Trying to build the kingdom of heaven. The first order of business is to silence the reverend. Yeah, all the churches we gotta seize. Go to Captain YAHANNA and tell him, sir, we got the keys. 8, gotta make sure my niggas straight. We don't know the date, but the saints patiently wait. Until then, we gotta ride for each other. We ain't nothing like the others for the blood of my brothers, nigga. If you wanna ride, nigga, let's ride. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. For the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other. If you wanna ride, nigga, let's ride. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. For the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other. If you wanna ride, if you wanna ride, it's for the blood, I ride. With my brothers, we'll die for each other. And if you wanna slide, nigga, we can slide. It's for the blood of my brothers, I ride. For my brothers, we'll die for each other, nigga.
Clap it up, clap it up. SHALAM, Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, start at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. Tonight is Tuesday night Brotherhood class in Houston, Texas. I'm Priest and Officer 500, the Warrior, and we're going to get straight to it. Tonight's class is going to be on the cost of brotherhood. First and foremost, before we start the class, any questions in the room? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I can start off, Nate. When we were young as women, we were told like we are like the best thing out here for men or whatever. And I feel like we are like, yeah, there's only one thing men want from us, you know, so like keep it, you know, safe and don't give it up. But then when we get to a certain age, it's like a, you know, kind of like a free fall, you know, like we're kind of pushed out there to, you know, get up, you know, and then it's like, why is that contradiction there? You know, why we continue to be told, even as grown women, don't give ourselves away to just anyone and be, you know, more cautious about the men that we select instead of just sleeping around, you know, and still feel like we deserve the world, even though this one thing we were told is the most important is now giving up to everyone, so it couldn't be that important, you know.
So let me try to unpack your question a little bit. You're saying, why is there an entitlement to older women when they gave up the thing that they were told not to give up to everyone, and why do they feel like they still entitled to the world?
Yes, basically, yes.
That's the question. That's your question.
That is the question.
Well, I mean, one, when you're dealing with the world, you're dealing with women in the world, you're dealing with people who have learned from the world. So in the world, the scriptures, I'm going to go with what the scriptures say, the love of money is the root of evil. So now a lot of these women, they commoditize their bodies to get them money. And in them doing that, they feel that their love and lust for money and notoriety in Esau's kingdom has them go against the laws of God and go against, what the Lord says is important and which is a man. That these women don't need men anymore. These women, specifically black and brown men, because the whole aim is to remove the black and brown man from the equation, remove him from your household. If you don't have a black and brown man in your household, you are defenseless. So like you said, I don't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on you.
You're defenseless, but so you are basically up for prey. You're a prey, and a lot of these women who are single masculine mothers to like how my Adawan put it in his class, they don't feel they need a man because Esau has craftily removed the man out of the equation so that he can continue to spoil her in the house. So their entitlement comes from the fact that they look at black and brown men as nothing, as no value. They don't see the true value of a man, and they hate that man from learning from the oppressor. Go ahead, sir.
If I could, right? So it's crazy because I actually just taught on this. I brought this up in the class. So the question that the sister asked is so heavy because, to be honest, the entitlement comes from it's actually natural. It's actually rooted in your DNA as a woman, right? Just like there are certain things that, that are rooted in men, like the desire for multiple women. That's something that's biological. Believe it, like a lot of women have a problem with accepting it. And I understand it. I get it because you've been rooted in what you were taught since you were a child. Since coming out the womb, you've been taught monogamy, don't share your man, this and that, right? Like this marriage is between one man, one woman. Like this is all you've seen all your life. Just like our kids are growing up seeing homosexual activity on shows and stuff, right? So guess what? They're gonna grow up and you're not gonna be able to tell them that that's wrong because that's all they're rooted, that's what they see. So it's no different from us trying to tell a female she's wrong for being selfish and not want to share a man. Now, what she's not wrong at is that biological feeling of, yes, I feel like if I give a man this, I am entitled to, well, I ain't gonna say necessarily put it monetarily or put on material things, but you do feel like once you give a man this, you deserve to be treated a certain way. You deserve certain things, right? You feel like I'm a woman, like I should feel like they use the word queen, but we're gonna say princess, right? Because a princess obviously gets whatever, you know what I'm saying, the king wants to give her, but we don't deal with queens. So let's say princess. She should feel like, hey, he should treat me like a princess. I'm giving him my most valuable thing. But that's the thing. It's not valuable no more because they done gave it to so many men before you get the one that's supposed to be with you for the rest of your life. He's not going to value that in that way. So you can't even, and it's natural for you to have that biological feeling of entitlement, but unfortunately, you've sold yourself short. Not you individually, of course. I'm talking about our sisters. Our sisters have sold themselves short of what they're entitled to. You naturally feel entitled to this princess attention, and you want the man to treat you like that. You want all the things that a man has to offer for you, whatever that may be. If you take money out of the equation, you want him to speak to you nicely. You want, like, the scriptures talk about that. They talk about our sisters wouldn't even set their foot on the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's princess treatment. But that's when their boxes were valuable because they were virgins. When I say virgins, I mean not giving themselves to no man before. You know what I'm saying? Never having sex before. So you can't, that's what the problem is. Because your question was, why do women have that entitlement still? It's natural. They can't help it, but unfortunately, they haven't really processed the fact that you want to feel entitled to it because it's natural, because the natural thing to do is save your box for the one man. So it's natural for them to feel like that. Unfortunately, they brought their value down by, and it's a certain, and men, and another thing, there's men out there still giving into it. So once we train up our children and we teach the more and more we will, that's more work me and Officer DeWall y'all have to do. We got to raise up these men to understand, like, don't be a whoremonger. That's all you're doing. Like, now let's say this woman, she coming to the truth, she become a new creature. Now she's saving that box for that man. That, that's a different. And we treat our women that we get into school as a prize. When you get that ointment and that oil, and Commander Jimmy Yohanna say, hey, this is my daughter, I give her to you. At that point, she's treated like a princess, but she acts like a princess too. So it's a lot that goes into it. You're definitely entitled, like naturally entitled to whatever treatment that a woman is supposed to get according to the Bible. But also, you gotta treat yourself and handle yourself that way so that man can, and that's something that, and as a sister in the school, that's something that you can teach the younger ladies and other women that, may not have that kind, like, because them hearing it from us, they look at it like, well, I don't like he said that, or it's, what I'm saying? But when they hear from other women, some women may call you a pygmy, some women may down you and talk down on you, but don't let that deter you, just like you don't deter us from being priests and prophets when they mock us.
Right.
You continue doing, you spread your light. You know what I'm saying? What you learn, and because you know what you're entitled to, you deserve it because you know how to act as a woman of the Lord, as a daughter of Zion. These other women don't, you know what I'm saying? And these other men don't know how to, pick them right, and or know how to teach them, like, hey, look, I'm not entitled to give you this because it's not even valuable. Like, I'll give you an example and I'll be done with it. Not to, keep holding on too long. But Commander Junior, every woman has a different diary. You know what I'm saying? Based on your history, based on how much mileage on your vehicle. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot here. But you know what I'm saying? But based on how much mileage, how much wear and tear is on your vehicle, that's how much you're worth. And that's your entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's clear cut. If you nigh into untouched, then guess what? You know what I'm saying? A brother gonna have to work 7 years for you. You know what I'm saying? Because nigh into untouched is the closest you're gonna get nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it'll be extremely rare to get a real virgin, a woman that never had sex with a man. You get that, brother. You might as well just go on, come into school and just wait till you become a captain. You know what I'm saying? Before you can even think about trying to court the sister and then have a big diary. You know what I'm saying? But those are the things that those type of women, that's your value. Your value is your mileage. You know what I'm saying? A car with 0 miles on it, guess what? A brother gonna pay that top dollar for it. I'm just saying, So that's where the entitlement comes from them naturally. It's built in you to want that, but you gotta earn it. You know what I'm saying?
Does that answer your question? Okay. If you could, Yabakan, give me Proverbs 16 and 25. I'm gonna touch a little bit, on what Officer Hoppenau was saying about why we don't necessarily go off of the status quo and care about what other people are saying. You got that up?
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man.
That seemeth what?
That seemeth right unto a man.
It seems right to these sisters to go on to OnlyFans. It seems right to them. Like, jump into their minds for a second. I don't have to come in contact with anybody in physical contact. I'm making 6 figures and I don't have to have an education. I just have to have an internet, a stable internet connection and a decent enough camera where people can see me. It seems right to them to like, it's like, they're like, why, what else can I do where I make 6 figures and do this? They justify it by securing generational wealth for their family. They justify it by saying they got to provide for their kids and this, that, and the third. It seems right to them. Keep going.
But the end thereof are the ways of death.
But the end thereof are what?
Are the ways of death.
But the end of that is death. And this death is more than just a physical death. It's a spiritual death. They are dead spiritually. The miles, imagine being coming up like right now as a child, and you eventually see that your mother, you come in contact with your mother's OnlyFans page. Somebody in school says, hey, they show you a little video of your mama busting it open on OnlyFans. How does that child has lost all respect for you. Not to mention, you probably damaged the respect. This is we why all these brothers jump to these arenas and get with white women. You wonder why all the basketball players and all the football players get with white women. That's because they have their household view of the woman that raised them is so low because they don't have any shame. Because they're goddamn a dog in the house. Because they're a whore now. They watching their mama whore day in, day out. So they like, I don't want that. I want something with value. Like Officer Hoppin was saying. They don't have any value. They got low mileage. So they trying to show that they trying to show that they riding in the Lambo. So you see brothers in the hood with the most pop white brothers. I'm talking about they'll take a woman that look like Roseanne. Like real talk, like brothers got young Roseanne over like a solid looking sister. Like I'm talking about like she got a sister, she'd be walking around, she'd be going to school, got glasses on or something. I want Roseanne. They like, I don't want this shit because in their mind they associate her with whores. They associate her with being a goddamn dragon, the woman that kicked their father out the house. It seemed right to them to do these things, but the end is death. It seemed right like they should move in that manner and just get their money up. Go and get your money up, girl. That's why women that's why you got these strippers. A lot of strippers is moving out of the stripping industry and buying these goddamn Willets. They trying to invest in trucking because that was their plan. Someone made a plan and did that because in that stripping arena is you are giving away the most precious thing that you have. And that's your virtuousness. That's your body. That's the thing the Lord told you only give to one man. And now you done gave it to so many, you trying to get your bag up, hoping that will entice a man. Like it's like, I'm already beat and popped out here, but at least I'm gonna come with some bread. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So this precept is perfect for those that want to live in their truth.
Right.
Like this precept is for brothers and sisters that want to live in their truth. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like the way that they living is right, but it only leads to death. You know what I'm saying? And so every time I hear them sisters that say, well, I'm living my truth, you try to tell them the truth, and they say, well, I'm living my truth, this is the precept right here that you should pull from. Because, you may feel like your truth is the right way, but it really is only leading to death.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so give my hand. And that's why the scriptures also tell you, lean not on thy own understanding. And the scriptures also tell you, don't take counsel from me. All these bras these bras saying what you were saying, they probably single with no man. Getting old, damn near out the game. Can't even they trying to be stellar and get their groove back. They trying to get a young bro, like, you know what? Everybody my age know I'm done. Let me go ahead and try to beguile a young nigga. Let me go ahead and just get my groove back.
Right.
Cause they already they ran through.
Right.
And like he said, like they think they know best until they walking around spiritually dead, walking around without a house. It's not easy for a lot of women to take their own trash out. The comfort of just having a man to take your trash out, some women don't even know. You don't even know that, let alone have protection, security, and guidance for your household. Somebody to raise your children not to be whores, not to be goddamn homosexuals. I don't even know that. Not to be alternative lifestyle seekers and transformers. Like you gotta teach your son not to want to become a woman when he only raised by a bunch of bitter women. How you gonna do that? You need a man. You need a man that's rooted in these scriptures more so than anything. Is any more than that? All right, matter of fact, you can go to chapter 11. Not chapter 11, verse 11, because today's title of the class is the cost of brotherhood, and we're gonna get into how the Lord really operates when it comes to what you get for what you pay. What does it cost you to get something that you want? Like, I don't know, a lot of people don't remember when candy used to really be a nickel. I don't remember. They used to say it was like a penny candies. I never was. You remember penny candy? Well, I don't remember penny. It might have been penny candies when I was coming up, but I don't remember. But I remember like them little nickel caramel squares, you know, when chips was really 25 cents. You can get them little 25-cent grenade juices. But now you buying that same thing and you gotta, how much is chips now? Like, I don't even see chips for the quarter no more. I just see that boy say $2.49 all the time. The quarter bag's now $2.49. Like, they went crazy. Let's talk about how the Lord deals with payments and entitlements. Read what you got.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 11. A just weight and balance are the Lord's.
A what?
A just weight and balance are the Lord's.
So back in the day, they used to use actual scales to like you would go to buy some rice or you would go to buy some meat and they would throw it on a scale and there would be a conversion weight for how much you pay, and that would go on the other side of the scale, and that would be a balance. That's once you get into the balance, and that's a fair trade. Read it again.
A just weight and balance are the Lord's.
So a just weight and balance are the Lord's. Let that sink in to your mind for a second. If the Lord deals in balances, look at the condition of Black and brown people right now. Look how low of a status we are right now. Not even just right now, what we read about in our records of in our history, thousands of years ago, of the battle that Christ fought. Somebody at the door? The battle that Christ fought back then, thousands of years ago, against the persecution, the battle to save his people, even before Christ. Think about Moses. Think about Moses and the captivity we had in Egypt. All of the captivities and all of that we as Israelites have suffered even to this day. And if the Lord says that, read it again.
A just weight and balance are the Lord's.
Now, if a just weight and balance are the Lord's, what does that let you know about how it's going to be in the kingdom? Think about how much you have to fight just to, right now, there's a movement where you basically say that your life matters. That is not even ran by you. A movement that says your life matters that is ran by the oppressors. You have nothing in this kingdom. You have nothing. But if a just weight and balance are of the Lord's, that means that there's a flip side to all of this oppression. That means that there's going to be a time where everything will balance out. All these thousands of years of oppression and hardship that we've suffered, we're gonna get a reprieve from that. How do we know this? Because the scriptures say so. The kingdom of heaven is in you. The scriptures say the kingdom of heaven is in you, meaning that you're going to be a part of not only building the kingdom of heaven, of what it means to be a part of the kingdom of heaven. The spirit of Officer YAHANNA, the spirit of Officer YAHANNA, the spirit of Sister Shayla, of Sharaki. Those spirits in the kingdom of heaven are going to be, your spirit is going to be a part of making it the kingdom. People are gonna enjoy your company. They're gonna enjoy learning from you. They're gonna enjoy just being around you. And that's a part of the balance. But we have to build that. We have to build that. And right now, we got to understand what the cost it takes to do that. And what cost did Christ pay? Christ paid the ultimate cost. Christ paid his life. Give me John 15 and 13. Go ahead. If it's a morning, give me that.
All the weights of the bag are his work.
Yeah, drop that and give me John 15 and 13. And all the weights of the bag is the Lord's work. Both sides, exactly what we're talking about. The exact balance is that of the Lord's. The Lord makes a vessel for honor and a vessel for dishonor. He made Esau to be the most vile and wicked creature that we've seen on the planet. The most deceptive and cunning, with a perpetual hatred for the Lord's people. Go ahead. Use the mic.
I missed some. The bags, the weights of the bag, that's what's on the balances, the bags.
The bag.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'll read it when you got it.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this.
Greater love have no man than this. So now we're talking about love. We're talking about when we say brotherhood, and brotherhood is synonymous with, we use it synonymously. Whenever we say brotherhood, you can automatically in your mind think of sisterhood as well. Why? I'm gonna go on a quick tangent, but why? And I'm gonna ask the room a question. Why is the language of the Bible directed as if it's speaking to men? Do you understand the question? Let me ask it again. So when there's parables about the kingdom of heaven, and Christ likens the kingdom of heaven as into 10 virgins, that's a parable for a man. That's a language that's directed to a man, because there's no a woman doesn't necessarily deal with 10 virgins. There's no 10 virgins for a woman. Go ahead.
If I may say, is that because the Most High is a man? Is that what you're asking?
Is that because the Most High? I mean, the Most High is a man, but that's not the answer to this question.
Can you restate the question?
So I'm gonna ask it again. Why is the language of the Bible written to men? Why doesn't it say? Why don't we talk about? Why isn't there? Why are the analogies and the stories and the allegories and the metaphors metaphors that are made for men? Go ahead.
If I could, sir, is it because that the men leave the congregation of Israel, and as it says in the scriptures, the flock of my pasture, flock of my pasture are men?
Give my hand. That's a perfect precept. Men leave the congregation. Men are the one. Like, this is a top-down structure, like it says in Corinthians. In 1 Corinthians, the head of every man is Christ, and the head of Christ is the Lord, and the head of every woman is the man. Paraphrase. That rank and order structure is set in stone for a reason. So the Bible is written to men because getting the men to understand this will naturally get everything else in order. You will naturally have sisterhood when we have brotherhood, because you will understand, you'll learn from us. We'll teach you. You'll naturally be able to fix the household dynamic when the man is in order. Like, there's been great lengths taken to make sure that Black and brown men do not have brotherhood. Great lengths have been taken. Lengths so hard that when Kanye speaks or Kyrie speaks out against the damn Jewish community of what they're doing, the fact that they run the music and entertainment industry, they run the diamond district, they monopolize all of these industries, but you can look at the focal point of those industries, and it's to disparage the Black man and make him hate his brother, or make him commoditize, or make him value money over anything else. Who's buying? Like, I don't care how many diamonds they sell to anybody. Black and brown people buying, like, got little baby walking the goddamn ice box and drop goddamn. How much have they made off Lil Baby, the Migos, Gucci? How much have they just made off them three? How many millions? How many hundreds of millions? That's just three brothers I just named. Lil Durk, brothers going in there and getting diamonds for their whole goddamn crew. You had a question? Go ahead.
It's like this. I just had a comment.
Go ahead.
Like, if I could, I was going to say it's heavy what you're bringing out. I don't want, because great lengths have gone to keep brotherhood out of Israel alone. It's just how the white man keeps Hispanics thinking that they're not our brothers, that they're, that they're closer to the white man, that they're closer to the white man than they are to the Black man. Puts a separation in Israel.
That's a heavy point. That's a real heavy point too. Yeah, give me a hand. Give me a hand. Because us being separated from our Hispanic, our Northern Kingdom brothers is, and the oppressor is so crafty. They know that Christ can't come back until we prepare this for him. We're preparing. We're here in the I.S.U.P.K. and the Commanding General. We are trying to do the righteous rehearsals. We're trying to create the kingdom of heaven here on earth. We're trying to. Not only are we trying, we're doing it. We are doing it. We are showing true love for our people and true brotherhood, and people and brothers like yourself and myself are testaments to that. Being pulled out of the world and changing ourselves. But the scriptures say, paraphrasing, he that endures to the end, the same shall be saved. It's not over. This is a marathon. This ain't a sprint. You don't get to it and just be over. You got to keep putting in work continually. You have to keep fighting continually. Just as Christ showed us how to keep fighting continually. You holding the precept for me?
I haven't finished the one that I was on.
All right, keep going. Start from the top.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Keep going.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
This is Christ speaking. He's saying there's no greater love than a man that lay down his life for his friends. And then he breaks down how you get to be a friend. Ye are a friend if ye do soever what I command you to do. This is a conditional relationship right here. Just like the relationship we have with the Most High is based on conditions, and we breaking those conditions all the way back in the garden with Adam and Eve, breaking the conditions that we had with the Lord, led to the curses that we still suffer to this day. Christ is laying down conditions right here of how you are a friend. Read 14 again.
Ye are my friends.
Matter of fact, start off at verse 12.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you.
Christ is saying, this is my commandment. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. How has Christ loved us? Go ahead.
He died for us.
He died for us. We know that. And they, at this point, when he says this to them, they don't know that. He hasn't died yet. He's telling them, this is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. How has he loved them to even to this point? So we're at a whole other level of understanding that how he loved us than at the level that he's explaining right now. Right here. Right here, he's telling them, ye love one another as I have loved you. Keep going.
Verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Now he's going into, this goes to show you just how cold Christ is. He's lacing them before, he's giving them the game before things have even unfolded. He's telling them, this is my commandment to y'all. Love each other just like I love y'all. And then he goes up a notch and says, greater love have no man than this. So he already telling you, love each other as I have loved you. You know, but then he says, greater love have no man than this. So there's no way to love someone greater than this. That a man lay down his life for his friends. And they like, okay, they listen like, damn, we gotta love each other how you showed us to love, which basically dedicate your life to the people. Be blameless, keep the commandments, be selfless, show mercy. They didn't see Christ do all type of miracles. They didn't see the Pharisees and Sadducees trying to catch him up constantly. They didn't see people turn them into the Pharisees and Sadducees. They didn't see all type of stuff. And he telling them like, hey, just love each other like I loved y'all. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Then he tells them that, like, damn, there's nothing greater of love that you can have than doing this. Read, keep going.
Verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you.
And then he says, ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. You my friend, you know how you could say you love your children. We love our children, but your children gotta obey you. Your children have to obey you, and if they don't obey you, there has to be repercussions for it. Repercussions that can go as extreme as exile, because you have to do what you're commanded to do to be a friend. And Christ is telling you right here, you're my friends if you do what I command you to do. You're my friends if you love one another as, because he starts off saying, this is my commandment. And you're Christ's friends if you love one another. It goes right back around full circle. You're a friend of Christ if you love your brother, if you love your sister, if you're willing to put your life on the line for your brother or sister, because he said there's no greater love than that. Like, let that sink in for a second. We know Christ died for us and only us, Israel. That cost Christ his life. That level of brotherhood, Christ paid his life. Christ paid his life for it. And he's telling us right here, this is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Christ is commanding us to put our lives on the line for each other. Put your life on the line for your brother and your sister. Having ultimate brotherhood and sisterhood will cost you your life. Now the cost of your life for some is not a physical death. It's a spiritual death. Give me how often shall I forgive my brother? Go ahead.
It's like I said, if I may, everything you're bringing out is just like reminding me of this book that I'm reading right now. it's about like this future world that had like a COVID situation, but it attacked women and specifically pregnant women. So all babies came out dying, and the women died too. So very few women survived that weren't pregnant. But one of the women that did survive, in this world, she came across two gay men, and they hadn't described whether this woman was black, white, or whatever, but they described those two gay men. One was black and one was a Latino. And, a situation took place where they came across some other men and they tried to attack her. And for her, the mom really thought, and they like told her, we're not going to take care of you, because basically you're a woman and you bring too much trouble. And that just, when you were saying like, they're sowing a whole bunch of discord between basically men and women and, brothers and sisters. Like, I don't know if she was black or white or whatever, but they just made me realize like, this word is just so wicked, and they're putting this in books and just everywhere, and everything y'all saying is true because like you all say, I guess same gender loving men hate women, and they did not want to protect her at all. They literally left her. Once they did that, they said, we're done. You got to go your own way. And from that point forward, I'm not part of the book. I haven't finished it yet, but she is walking around as a man now. Like, people don't know that she's a woman, So it's just like that one scripture also, like, I don't know, Isaiah something was like, women are going to be coming to me and like, just, I got these things, just please take me and protect me.
Take away their reproach.
Yes, exactly.
And and give her a hand. It's a heavy point too, because these books and these, of course, the two homosexuals are going to be two brothers, because they are trying to feminize us and remove brotherhood and sisterhood from us, because brotherhood and sisterhood is how we build the kingdom of heaven. This is the foundation. We're reading about the foundation of how Christ laid the foundation for us to have a chance at a second life. We're all sinners. We all have been sinners, but we all gonna have to continue in sin. That's the difference. That's the difference between us and anybody outside of this door. Anybody outside of the I.S.U.P.K under Commander YAHANNA. They don't recognize that true love for one another, of brotherhood and sisterhood, starts with you changing yourself first. You changing yourself to the point where you love your brother and sister so much that you lay your life down for them. They tried to they just in that book you were talking about, they just ran them off enough so they didn't have to feel the guilt of saying that they were cowards. They didn't have to feel the guilt to say like, man, we're just cowardly gay men out here. We just watched our sister get raped and murdered or kidnapped. They didn't want that guilt, so they did enough to just not have to feel that, but they didn't love their sister. They didn't have true compassion, willing to do it over and over again, of letting her stay with them. Go ahead.
Sir. Good. That sounds exactly like what the IUIC did with Jordan Morton.
Get it, brother, in. It is exactly. These fake Israelite groups, you have to understand, we're at a spiritual war right now. We're at a spiritual war. And just how, you know what, are you holding something for me?
I'm kind, sir.
Hold that and give me John. Man, what is it? What are you holding right now?
Matthew 18 and 21.
Matthew 18 and 21. Hold that and give me, let me see if I can find it. Give me John 11 and 45. That's what I want. John 11 and 45. You got to understand the spirit of these fake groups, specifically these goddamn purple pigs, these purple, what is Commander YAHANNA call them? Goddamn, go ahead, sis.
Purple vaginistas.
Vaginistas. That's exactly what I was looking for. These purple vaginistas. You got to understand the spirit that they coming in. And this is a spirit that is not new to the earth. You got that from y'all? Go ahead.
This is the book of John, chapter 11, verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
So now, many of the Jews, we're talking about the people. We're talking about Israel right now. Many Israelites have seen the miracles that Christ did. They came to Mary and they seen the miracles that Christ was doing, and they're believing. Just how many people in the world that are Israelites that are finding out that they're Israelites are seeing the I.S.U.P.K, seeing that we're going to goddamn Acuna, seeing that we're going to El Paso caring for our people, seeing that we're fighting off goddamn the Kentucky 8, fighting off hordes of Christians, seeing how Captain Zariak is dealing with these people in the conscious community, seeing how he dealt with goddamn WAC 100, seeing the level of seeing our interactions with the world and seeing the miracle, seeing that we're actually taking people out of the world and changing their lives, and they're beginning to believe. Those people are beginning to believe that, you know what, this is the home of the truth. The I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. Keep reading.
Verse 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees. Some of these people in the world went to the Pharisees. Some of these people are going to the IUIC. Some of them people are going to them and telling them, hey, they've been having camp right here at this spot in Kansas City. They only got 4 brothers over there at this spot. You know, they've been out there doing that thing. Y'all can probably do something. They seeing the miracles that Christ was doing, and they were believing on him. But some of the people didn't believe, and they went to the Pharisees. Keep reading.
And told them what things Jesus had done.
And they told them what things Yahushua had done. They're like, hey, Christ making these miracles, and people, you know, and he got a lot of people believing on him. But what y'all gonna do? What do y'all think about this? You know, the I.S.U.P.K is they are doing a food drive, goddamn 3 days a week, where they partner with Walmart, and they're just giving everything away to the needy in the goddamn in 3rd Ward in Houston, Texas. Keep reading.
Verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council.
So now, these are the ops right here. The Pharisees, they made a little council for themselves. What did the IUIC do when someone told them that four of our brothers go to camp out here in Kansas City on this block? They gathered themselves together too. They get those purple Bajanistas, that attack on our brothers was a strategic and planned attack. They had got the police that showed up came with no sirens on. First of all, when do police pull up with no sirens on? What kind of police do that? If you got a bunch of brothers, and to the point, and they talking about guns, they talking about he got a gun. Police pulling up a bunch of black men wrestling in the streets, and one is yelling that someone has a gun. When would they ever pull up with no sirens? They had a council. Those purple Vaginistas had a goddamn council, just like these Pharisees and Sadducees having a council right now. Keep reading.
And said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
They saying, hey, what we gonna do? Because Christ out here, he doing miracles. He's out here doing miracles. They saying, what are we gonna do? Because the I.S.U.P.K, they out here actually saving people's lives, and they making us look like we not doing nothing. Keep reading.
Verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
Read it again.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
They said these wicked Pharisees and Sadducees said, if we leave Christ alone to do what he's doing, everyone will believe in him. They knew that he was the truth. Just like the IUIC, these purple vaginistas know that we're the truth. They had a council about how do we, if we let Christ continue to go out there and do his miracles, everyone's going to believe in him. Keep reading.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Now we're losing our seat. Now we're losing our power. These purple vaginistas know if everybody finds out that we're the truth, then they will just be fizzled out and be nothing. They'll have no more place because the white man won't be able to use them to cause dissension between Israelites anymore. Any more on that?
Lie, sir.
They knew Christ. The Pharisees and Sadducees knew Christ was the truth. They knew that he was the truth, and they knew that they couldn't leave him alone, or else they would lose their seat with the oppressor. That's the spirit that they were in right here. That's the spirit that you still see with these purple vaginistas to this day. Salakia for that tangent. I don't know how we got to. I don't know. Did you have a question or something? Or
that was just input on IUIC and the Jordan Morgan.
The Jordan Morgan. Exactly. We keep calling out that, and that's why it's such a righteous thing to cry aloud and spare not. Because we don't want there to be another Jordan. We don't want another sister to die at the hands of some wicked goddamn Hamites in a wicked COINTELPRO police organization. You was holding something, drop that and go back to where you were. Like, what? I don't know, did you have a question or did that answer your question? Okay, what?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him?
Now we're getting back into the cost. What it costs for brotherhood. What it costs to be a brother. What it costs to be a sister. Keep reading.
Till 7 times?
And he's saying, damn, how often do I gotta forgive my brother? Like 7 times?
I see you.
7 times will it take for me to just keep forgiving him? I gotta forgive him 7 whole times. Keep reading.
Verse 22. Yahushua saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
But until what?
Until 70 times 7.
So now Christ is saying, not just 7 times, 70 times 7, which we know everybody isn't great in math. You know, I don't expect everybody to be able to do that math, and neither did Christ expect them to be able to do that math, because the literal number is not what's important here. What's important here is knowing that you continually have to forgive your brother or sister. Continually have to forgive them to show true brotherhood, to show true sisterhood. Because we just read before, Christ says, ye are my friends if you do what I command you to do, right? And what did he command them to do? Love one another as he has loved them. So if Christ is saying you got to forgive them 70 times 7, then Christ obviously is going to forgive you 70 times 7. He's not, Christ is forgiving more than 70 times 7. Keep going.
Verse 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain...
You could drop that out. Give me Proverbs. Did I go to Proverbs 11? Give me Proverbs 11 and 1. I don't know if we went there already.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is abomination to the Lord.
A false balance. So we already read about the Lord deals in just balance. But now, a false balance. What's a false balance? What is a false balance? Go ahead.
Like if I could, so would that be a brother acting like he has your back but really doesn't?
a brother acting like he has your back and really doesn't, that could be a false balance. But what is a false balance literally? In the sense, so we already know, like we said, if you come and buy something from me, and I put your what you are trying to purchase on the balance beam, right? But then you put your money on the balance, right? And I'm supposed to make it weigh right. I'm supposed to bring you to a just balance. So to give you what you paid for. A false balance is me cheating you. Me not giving you what you're paying for. Me lying to you. So if I'm cheating you, I'm giving you a false balance. In the world, you know, I'm gonna take it to an example, you know. If you got finessed, you know, if you go and you trying to, like, so many brothers out here in the world is, you know, and I'm just saying this from experience of things that I've dealt with. I'm gonna say an actual story. A brother in the world was supposed to, you know, he was supposed to come and buy. I think it may be a Concon. Actually, he was supposed to come and buy like a QP or something from me, but he came with fake money. He came with the dodos. He might have had a few, and I know you probably remember this, you know, but this was the husband of a cousin of Maria. So, you know, he knew he was entertained for that reason. The reason I even dealt with him and even gave him a chance was because he had some type of familial relationship. But he tried to come with fake money. He tried to buy some actual product from me, but using fake money. Now, of course, me at the time, I recognized it to be fake money. And then we're at a crossroads at this point. We're at a junction. And I had to let him know, I was like, hey, this ain't that. And he's so young and, you know, not so used to finessing people at the time. He didn't even have his elevator pitch ready of when he would get caught, when somebody would catch him in the act. And he was like, oh, damn, I didn't know it was that. Damn, I didn't even know. When that, you know, we don't have to get into how things proceeded further, but that's a false balance. He tried to cheat me. Keep reading.
Khan. But a just weight is his delight.
But a just weight is his delight. Dealing with your brothers and sisters justly is a delight to the Lord. A false balance, trying to cheat each other, is an abomination to the Lord. And that's all we're doing right now as people. That's as with brotherhood and sisterhood, we're just trying to just get what we can get out of each other outside of these walls. And the scriptures say a just weight is a delight to the Lord. Drop that and give me John. Let me see. John 13. There's so much in this 13th chapter we go on. I'm not going to get into everything right now. But give me John. Yeah, give me John 13.
Khan.
We're gonna get into a little bit of the spirit of Christ, the spirit of true brotherhood, and the spirit of not having true brotherhood. Go ahead. Give me John 13:1.
This is the book of John, chapter 13, verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, when Yahushua knew that his hour was come.
Hold on. Before the feast of what?
Of the Passover.
No, the feast of Christmas.
The Passover.
No, the feast of goddamn New Year's Eve.
The Passover.
The feast of Thanksgiving.
the Passover.
Christ celebrated the Passover. This is just put that in your mind and let that digest. All these wicked holidays that you're celebrating, Christ didn't celebrate those. Keep reading now.
When Yahushua knew that his hour was come.
Now, when Christ knew, what does that mean when Yahushua knew his hour has come? Go ahead.
He was about to die.
And he was about to die. Keep going. Christ knew he was about to die.
That he should depart out of this world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them unto the end.
Having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them to the end. Now, them being in the world means they are the ones practicing Thanksgiving. They're the ones practicing goddamn Christmas. He's keeping the Passover, but he's loving all of them to the very end. Keep going.
Verse 2. And supper being ended, the devil having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Verse 3. Yahushua, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he was come from God and went to God. Verse 4.
Drop down to drop down to 21 for time's sake.
Verse 21. When Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
Christ is saying somebody is going to betray me. So right now, let all this sink in. Christ is keeping the Passover. This is the Last Supper. Christ is eating his last meal that he know he's gonna have with his niggas. He's troubled. He knows the last meal. He knows he's about to die. He knows that somebody around him is out. He knows exactly who it is. He knows it's Judas Iscariot. It said that in verse 1. And what did read? And you don't have to read it again. In verse 2, what did it call? What did it say? Read verse 2 again. Let's read it again.
Verse 2. And supper being ended, the devil having now
who?
The devil.
Okay.
Having now put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him.
The devil put in Judas's mind to betray him. Who is the devil? Go ahead.
The Pharisees or the Romans?
Give him a hand. The Romans, they put in his heart to betray Christ because the Romans were the ones that was seeking Christ, the ones that were chasing Christ. Just how the oppressor puts in the heart of our brothers now to betray one another. Just like, it's a lot of controversy right now over just listening to the goddamn Gunna album. People don't even want to listen to the Gunna album because they feel like he's betraying Young Thug. The cop, the DA, the judicial system have put in the heart of Gunna to betray Young Thug. You got to understand, the same devil that was working back then is the same devil that's working right now. He's putting it in our hearts. What is the first thing they do? Anybody that's ever seen First 48, they got the same goddamn script. What do? They put you in the interrogation room. The only way they build a case is by getting you to betray your brother. They put you in the room and they pin you against each other. And they get you to essentially rat on your brother. Not to say that what they're doing isn't wicked. Not to say it's not wicked, but it's just not judged by righteous men. Keep reading now.
Verse 21, verse 22.
Read the end of 21 again. Verily.
Verse 21. When Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in spirit and testified and said, verily, verily, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. Verse 22.
Now we already know Christ knows who it is. It said it in verse 2. It said the devil put the spirit on Judas. Now Christ is talking to them. Christ is talking to everybody. He's telling them, one of y'all is going to betray me. Keep reading.
Verse 22. Then the disciples looked one on another, doubting of whom he spake.
Doubting of whom he spake. They looking at each other like, damn, who are you talking about? Like, he couldn't be talking about you. Couldn't be talking about me. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 23. Now there was leaning on Yahushua's bosom one of his disciples, who Yahushua loved. Verse 24. Simon Peter therefore beckoned to him, that he should ask who it should be of whom he spake.
So Simon leaned in, Peter leaned in, like, hey, who is it? You know what I'm saying? And it made a point to let you know that Christ loved him. Christ loved him. One of his disciples whom Christ loved. Keep reading.
Verse 25. He then lying on Yahushua's breast saith unto him, Lord, who is it? Verse 26. Yahushua answered, he it is, to whom I shall give a sop when I have dipped it. And when he had dipped the sop, he gave it to Judas Iscariot.
Christ told him, so he leaned in and said, hey, man, who is the op? Which one of us is it? And Christ said, it's the one who, after I dip this bread and give it to him, that's who it's going to be. Keep reading.
The son of Simon. And after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Yahushua unto him, that thou doest, do quickly.
So then it's now. This is a lot happens with what you just read. It says after he did it, Satan entered into him. And then after that, so the demon jumped on him right then and there. And then right after that, Christ says, go with your move. What you about to do, go ahead and do it now. Because Christ knows what the time it is. He's basically telling them, like, go to your peoples. Let them know. Keep reading.
Verse 28. Now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. Verse 29. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Yahushua had said unto him, buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor.
So basically, nobody knew what Christ was talking about right then. Only person that knew that was the op was Simon Peter. Because Christ had told him, who I give this to, that's the one. Then he did it. And then, right, he said, do what you got to do right now. And they thinking like, damn, you know what? He is in charge of the money. Maybe Christ telling him to go ahead and go handle something for the poor real quick. Keep going.
Verse 30. He then, having received the sop, went immediately out, and it was night.
And after he told him that, first off, let this soak into your mind. Judas knows who he's betraying Christ the whole time. He don't know that Christ knows. But then that demon, right after Christ dipped it and gave it to him, and only him, the demon jumped on him. And then Christ commanded the demon in him to go do what you're going to do and betray him. And then it says he went immediately out. He instantly just went. He went out. Drop down. Drop to 33.
Khan. Verse 33. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me. And as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you, verse 34, a new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another.
Keep going.
Khan. Verse 35, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have loved one to another.
Christ is great. He said it again, just like we read earlier. Ye, the commandment I give unto you, ye love one another as I have loved you. But then he says, this is how all men will know that you're disciples of me. This is how the world knows. This is how everyone in the world knows. When men, they know that Captain Tazariak is a man of God. They know that the Lord is with Commanding General YAHANNA, because we have love for one another and we do as Christ commanded us to. Go ahead. You had a question?
It's like a second minute. What does little children mean? Who are they?
Little children. Who are the little children? You want to give it a shot?
It's like the Jews, Israel.
Read it.
Khan. Verse 33, little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me. And as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you.
So, little children, as we talked about before, now, yes, Israelites are the children, but right now, who is he talking to? I'm asking you.
It's like,
No, not you. Jay.
Oh, the disciples?
He's talking to the disciples. Now, why is he calling them little children? What does he say after that? Read it, Yabakan.
Khan. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me.
Little children, yet a little while I am with you. Ye shall seek me. What would happen if you get up and leave out? What's going to happen with Sharaki?
She's gonna try to follow me or go find me.
She's gonna be worried. She's gonna be concerned. Something is wrong right now. She's gonna be scared. Christ knows that the disciples are gonna be scared. They're gonna be worried. They're going to seek him, and they can't come with him. If you go somewhere and you don't bring your child, they get concerned, and they will get concerned. They're gonna be scared because he's only gonna be able to be there for yet a little while. Does that answer your question? Okay, keep reading now.
Khan. Verse 35. By this all men know, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have loved one to another. Verse 36.
No, hold it right there. Going back to what you were saying about the purple vaginistas. They try to cancel our Passover, and they try to do the same things the Pharisees and Sadducees did to Christ. Try to catch us up all the time. They try to put us in a box, and they never can. They try to lie on us. They try everything. And that's because they are in the spirit of the Pharisees and Sadducees. They work for the modern day Romans, which is just the oppressor. And they recognize that the world knows that we have love for one another. There's one thing you can't deny is that them brothers in the KC4 love each other. And when you get to an altercation with a brother and he come up swinging, you know that he loves that brother. Swinging against a goddamn army of 30 off-duty police officers. He loves that brother. And this, read 35 again.
Verse 35. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another.
By this shall all men know that you are disciples of Christ if you love one another. This is the nature of the battle. The Lord is a man of war. So by proxy, his children are going to be warriors. The world is seeing, the Lord is right, drawing that line in the sand to show you who is with me and who is against me. Who loves each other and who doesn't love each other. What's the newest thing that popped up with these purple vaginistas? They're fighting each other. They're beating their own brother to damn near death. And who does their brother come to? He comes to us. Their brother came to us. If you can't see that these scriptures are alive and these are living waters, if you can't see that this is actually right before your eyes right now, then it may not be for you. Because the Lord is definitely showing you who he's with and who he's not with. You got a group of brothers that went against 30 off-duty cops and they all came out unscathed. You got a part of those off-duty cops and he got beat to damn near death. They don't have love for one another. We do have love for one another. They aren't disciples of Christ. We are disciples of Christ. Any questions? Any more on that?
Sir.
Check and see if any questions in the room. Any questions online? We had some technical difficulties starting Salakia for the late start. Class, it's over hundreds of degrees out here, so we had to deal with some AC issues out here in Houston, Texas, right now. The last few days on the earth were the hottest days of recorded history. The last few days that everyone just experienced were the hottest days in recorded human history. Since they started recording the weather, they're the hottest days. Get your spirit right. Quit trying to bicker with brothers and sisters about petty things, because you can be called out on petty things too. In the Lord's Prayer, what do you ask for? Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So if you don't forgive your debtors, you shouldn't be forgiven either. If the Lord deals in just weight, your amount of forgiveness you will receive is dependent about the amount of forgiveness that you will give. You need to forgive your family members for the things that they did to you. You need to forgive them so that you can be forgiven. Any questions? All right. With that, pay your tithes to the men of the Lord. Go to ISUPK.com. Commander General YAHANNA is really saving lives. As we read, he really loves his brothers and sisters. He's not going to buy a goddamn new Bentley truck. He isn't getting a goddamn new G6, G8 plane like your goddamn Christian pastor. He's not hiding money in the goddamn walls like Joel Osteen. He's actually getting brothers and sisters their medication that they need. Saving babies from being aborted. housing goddamn people that are homeless, feeding the homeless, doing the things Christ commanded us to do. So the least you could do if you can't get out there and war with your brothers, or being here like these virtuous sisters making goddamn camp meals and giving brothers legal advice and free legal services, and the least you could do is pay your tithes, which is a commandment by God. And with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer YAHANNA with the announcements. Give him a hand. You got it? It's right here. Right here.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. Ma'asharat, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Day of Atonement.
No,
Shalakia. Memorial of blowing of trumpets. First day of the 7th month. Friday, the 15th of September, 2023. Leviticus 23 and 24 through 25. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And that concludes security announcements.
And with that, Amadium, which means to stand. Sorry, we're going to turn and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer, first in the Hebrew. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Wadash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malak Waka. Daba'a. Ratazaka. Ayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawa. Ayah. Bashamayim. Nathanawa. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalaknawa. Kawatnawa. Kasalaknawa. Wala'a. Daba'aynawa. Manasaya 1. Abal. Hashayanawa. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wahala. Wahata Para. La Waliam. Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever so be it. So, I'm going to do a courtesy salute for the brothers. Sisters may be seated. Men of Israel, Madi Shabbat, Madi, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah, Yad Yamatah. Sir, Sisters Amania, which means to stand. Courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Madi Shabbat, Madi, Barak, Yahweh Shema Athan B'Hashem Yahushua,
Yahweh Shema Al-Athah B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yad Yamatah, dismissed.